I love love. Love, love. You feeling okay? Better? Alright, I'll call you. Bye, guys. Bye. So you didn't give him a call? Have you spoken to him since the last night?
You are using the voice audio. Okay. 3 minutes time, meeting a bit. Is that back?
Hello, please, let's start, please. Good evening, everybody. So we start exactly by 8 o'clock.
Emmanuel, your mic is not that loud, and your network is breaking.
Is it audible now?
I think it's your network.
Okay, let me change position a bit. I'm trying to charge my phone. Okay. I hope it's better now.
You're better now. Wow.
Saying that while starts by 8 is 8 p.m. Okay, it's 8 p.m. now, so I'm supposed to start 8 o'clock. But since we don't have much,
We can't hear you.
let's give like a few minutes to try to get new people on board, and then I
Okay.
want to call the national president, and so he can also come on board. Can you hear me better now? I'm trying to be okay. Okay, he's on board. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll say before now, if we can hear me, what we're going to start doing is
I think you should log out and log in again, please. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please say hi.
Let's
Hi, we can hear you.
Yeah, so Emmanuel, please log out and log in again. Just log out.
Yes, we can hear you. We can't hear you.
Emmanuel, yeah. So please, let me go so that so welcome once more. Please inform your friends, your colleagues that have not joined to kindly join. So that we can start immediately. Emmanuel, how are you? Are back. If you can try if your network is better now.
okay. I'm trying to change positions. Like I'm going 3 floors.
I think it's better now.
Down.
You're sounding better. So, but it's still from 20 anyway.
So I was saying that we are supposed to start now, and we should start. But I would like us to first, for those of us on board, to do 2 things. One, using the chat box, let's introduce ourselves. For attendance sake, let's know who came and what facilities are represented. So just on the chat box, just write your name and write the name of your facility. And then secondly, on your own facilities group chat, if you can remind your interns that the meeting has begun, so they can also join while I still try to mobilize the national group chats. That would be nice. So in the next couple of minutes, the president can take the podium and we can start properly. So please, let's just do that using the chat box. Where is the chat box? Okay. Yes, using the chat box. Let's do that. Yes, okay. We have one person, Adetayo Opemipo Oluwafisayomi from UCH Ibadan. So let everybody just follow suit. So we know what facilities are present. And even if we don't have everybody on board, we'll try as best as possible to get everybody on board, but we'll know who is here. Okay, we have from FMC Abuja, UNTH, Namani John, and Abdul Basit Balogun. Let's know who is here and what facilities they present. So the message we will pass today and whatever I discuss today, we know that we have people from everywhere that's tuned in, and they can also spread that message in as much as we try to get as many people as possible on board for us to have a very, very successful deliberation. So, okay, yes. So that's what I was trying to say earlier before my network started doing issues. You're great.
Yeah, go on. So let them introduce themselves. Why? I believe we might have the good representative of all the hospitals.
Yes, there's National Orthopedic Hospital Enugu. There is Port Harcourt, there's Ibadan, there's Park Lane, there's UNTH. Yes.
Please,
So,
Anwar, do you have somebody that will
ABUTH.
take minutes of this our conversation?
I'll write it down. That's not a problem.
Okay. So you can be taking minutes, so that whatever we discuss later we can share. So I know we might be recording, but the minutes are very important so that it can be used for further discussions later.
No problem. It's no problem. So, yeah. So please let's keep on with introductions. In the next 1 minute or so, the National President will start his address to us. And please, if you've not joined the audio, many people have not joined the audio. Let me type that on the chat box. Let's try to join the audio so that we'll hear what is being said. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So please let's keep introductions coming. I've even seen places I did not know where. I didn't know we have so many people from Orthopedic Enugu and Hospital Management Board Jalingo on the group. Very plenty people. So this is also helping us to update what we know about who's on the group and the spread we have. So, Presido, are you ready to address us now?
Yeah, hello, good evening. Am I audible enough?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I really must express my disappointment in the number of persons that I'm seeing here. I know how aggressive we have been trying to create awareness as regards to this program. And it was expected by at 8 p.m. that we should have this Zoom meeting filled up, at least that first 100 persons, while others can link up through the YouTube channel, through our YouTube channel. But look at it, we are just 40. 40 as at 11 minutes after 8, where we have almost 500 interns on the WhatsApp platform. And it's baffling because, I'm sorry I have to say this, if we truly desire change, and we want clarity. And on many issues, we want most of our issues to be addressed. And you don't present yourself when such engagement is going on. How do you expect to get optimum results? You don't get results that way. If our leaders must meet up with your demands, you must, on your own part, present yourself. You have to be available so that if there are areas that you can also contribute as a person, if there are recommendations, if there are questions or inputs you want to make, you can also make. These are the things that inform, better decision making that will be of benefit to all. It's discouraging. Now, currently, as we speak, we already have some of our guests here, and interns are yet to join this meeting. It's not encouraging. We cannot be seen to making such sacrifices, trying to see how we can make things work out. And while doing that, those that we are trying to do this for, they are not showing that concern, that they actually want that change that they do desire. I'm disappointed. But notwithstanding, we still have to proceed with the meeting. But if you are an intern rep here and your members are not here, we should be able to hold you responsible, because that goes to show how you were able to create the awareness on your platforms. You don't just drop posts. You should also follow it up with a write-up, encourage them to be part of the meeting, and assuring them that the meeting will, address most of their fears and challenges as interns. So if I'm coming here and I'm saying 44, that means the intern reps did not do their job well. And considering the engagement we had with the reps, the discussions we had, and we are having this, it's highly discouraging. So please, I want to beckon. Go to your intern platforms, whatever you use, whether it is WhatsApp or Telegram, and let them know that the meeting has started and our guests are already seated in the meeting. And let's have that. Let's have that by 8:20 at most. This wall should be filled. It's discouraging. Very discouraging. Very, very discouraging. Like I said, we still have to start. So before I give my welcome address, I think Joe Great, please, you may just start, take the center floor, the center stage. Let's have the housewarming, introduction, recognition, then we can have the opening prayer before I
Okay. Yeah, President, I can hear you. Say what? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's have the recognition and the opening prayer before I come in.
Okay, are we starting immediately? I
Yes,
thought you said we
please.
should wait for some. Okay.
No. Yes, please. We'll start while we
Okay.
wait for them, while they come in.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, our President. And I must say that your passion is second to none, especially when it comes to making sure we get the best for the profession and to make sure that the young are carried along and that their rights are protected. And the importance of this conversation today, I call it an integration and also an opportunity, a platform to able to understand some processes in the profession, especially for most of us here that are coming into the profession that are at the first stage, which is the internship stage. Most of us are not aware of so many things, and it's a good opportunity. I'm surprised, just like the president have said, that most of us, majority of the interns are not here. And tomorrow they will be the one out there complaining, shouting, and saying that professional is this, profession is that. So it's always good to avail yourselves opportunities to learn and to be and to also be informed. So I hope some persons will join later. Hopefully we are recording. I think we should start recording of the meeting. So maybe some people, maybe because of Sunday, some persons might not be available. That is understandable. Okay, without wasting much time, I want to use the opportunity to thank the National Intern Coordinator, Emmanuel Anwa, for being so passionate to also see that we hold this meeting. The National President, I want to say that, first of all, before we start recognition, we want to start with an opening prayer. If you have a Muslim brethren here, please, that is available to pray, please take the center stage, unmute your mic and give us a short prayer so that we'll continue. A Muslim brother or sister.
صلوا على النبي الكريم
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
Amen. Thank you, Shaibu. Thank you. I think you are from your hospital is, what's the name of your hospital again?
Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria.
Okay, Ahmadu Bello, the famous Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. Thank you very much for that short prayer. Okay, without wasting much time, my name is Chibweze Obi George, aka Joe Great. I am the Vice President Southeast, and also I serve the capacity of the media coordinator for the forum. At this junction, we have some dignitaries. I want to start by recognizing the presence of the program director of YMLSF National, the person of MLS, Isioma Uwabai. Please say hi to us, Isioma. Okay, maybe before he on his mic, no more time. So I want to also.
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, colleagues and everybody. Mr. President, I'd like to appreciate you for your efforts for turning this meeting once again. And by name MLS Wanda Isema, the program director, YMLS National. Thank you very much, and we hope this meeting will be a fruitful one for all of us to deliberate for the growth of our profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the man from Warri. I greet you. Also want to use the opportunity to recognize the presence of the National Secretary of YMLSF. It's not that person than our reliable. Can you hear me?
Yes, proceed.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I say we recognize the person of MLS Jagede Onu Suleiman, the National Secretary of YMLSF. Please, if you are here, just give us, say hi to us, please. Okay, as we wait for him to on his mic, I want this opportunity. I know he has spoken, but I want to also recognize our national president of YMLSF in the person of MLS Emmanuel Koda Nkuma, the capacity national president. He will say hi later, and because we have heard his voice. We also have our guests and speakers, people that they are going to be of so much. They'll give us the information we require as professionals. First of all, I want to recognize the presence of the representative of the council. He is the director, practitioner and regulatory side of the council, especially in terms of the license and so on. So I welcome the person of Mr. Gregory Ochuno. Please, sir, if you are here, just say hi to us.
Hello, good evening. I'm Uchino Gregory. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Always so happy to hear your voice and also to hear your energies. I'm so proud to identify myself with you, sir. Welcome, sir. So we want to also recognize the person, the National Publicity Secretary and the CEO of LabCrest, the person of Mr. Olusoji Bilirose, our Capacity National Publicity Secretary of Amston. Please, sir, if you are here, just say hi to us.
Yeah, good evening, colleagues. Happy to join you guys.
Welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Always happy to have you around.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome.
Okay, sir. Finally, we want to also recognize, I'm trying to start him if he's here now, the National President of Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria. He's not that person than Professor James Garba Damen, the erudite professor of microbiology and parasitology. And he has been so much of success as AMSIN president, and I must say I'm happy with him as the president. Please, sir, if you are here, say hi to us before we take center stage. Okay. I think the national president might be joining us later.
Yes, he will join us. He will join us shortly, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, without wasting much time, I know we have virtually from the chat box representative from various universities. And the aim here is not really to have everybody on board, but we wish to have everybody, but at least we have representatives from all the hospitals so that they will take it back, the information we have here down to their various units at the different hospitals nationally. Without waiting much time, the purpose of this meeting is for us to be informed, because one of the major issues we are having as professionals is information. And as you can see, both the council and association are doing fantastically to make sure that we are well informed. And YMLSF is taking lead in that direction. So we don't want to leave any stone unturned so that we'll have more satisfied professionals out there, because information is power. Some of the things we do complain outside there is just mainly lack of information. So I want to use this opportunity to welcome the national president of YMLSF, MLS Nkuma Koda, to give his opening remarks. Before then, I think the national intern coordinator, just 1 or 2 minutes, give your opening remarks. Then the national president will come over with his own remarks. Emmanuel Anwa, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to say I'm very grateful to the national executives of YMLSF, led by our very own erudite president, scientist, Emmanuel Kodankuma. Very grateful for this opportunity to address interns and try to listen to us and inform us and hear what we have to say. It's very, very great, and we don't take it lightly. I want to thank every other person that has helped, every other national ESCO of YMLSF, scientist Jegede, scientist Joe Great, and scientist Isioma. Very grateful to you guys. I'm also very grateful to our special guests, Mr. Greg, Mr. Soji, and our very senior colleagues that have always shown up for us. When you relate with them, it's not as if you are relating with very senior elders, because of the way they are very accommodating and how they are very passionate about the young ones. And our very own national president of AMSIN, Professor James Damen, very wonderful people that have taken out time today to be with us out of their busy schedules. On behalf of all interns across the country, we don't take this lightly, and we are very grateful to you. We promise to have great engagement, listen to what you have to say, ask the questions we have, and listen to your advice and your answers. And thank you very much. Thank you to all the interns here present. Thank you to everybody that has pushed for this meeting to hold. We hope to have a very, very engaging and insightful deliberation this night. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, MLS Emmanuel Awan, for that brief speech. Without wasting much time, I want to recognize the presence of our national president, the president of presidents, the national president of AMSIN, Professor James Garba-Damen. He just joined us. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Prof.
Yeah. Good evening. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Prof. Always showing up. I must say that you are a ever-present national president. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Oh yeah. So at this junction, before I give opportunity to different stakeholders to address us, I want to call the presence of the national president of YMLSL, the person of Code and Kuma, to give us his remarks and why we usher in other persons to give us the information we crave for. Mr. President, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe Great. I want to, first of all, appreciate the distinguished presence of the National President of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, Professor James Garba-Damen. I must tell you that we've never had it like this before. This is the history of Young Medical Laboratory Scientists Forum, where presidents draw closer, to the young, trying to see that we are growing, we are progressing as a forum, and also doing his best, to ensure that whatever challenges that we are facing, he comes in and see how we can overcome those challenges. We've never had it like this. And I must tell you that I am humbled. Also considering the fact that he's a very busy person, and always dedicating time whenever we call on him, to always be part of our engagement. So it shows that you have the genuine interest for the young to grow, or not just to grow, to take up leadership positions in the nearest future. And having the likes of you, gives us that confidence that truly we have some elders, we have some leaders in this profession that really mean well for the young medical laboratory scientists forum. So I want to say a very big thank you for availing yourself once again. I want to also appreciate and recognize the presence of Mr. Greg Oshuno, who is also here representing the MLSCN registrar. Just recently, we had a meeting, and he was also there. We had our YMLSF national online meeting, and he was also there to address some of the issues that we are facing. Tonight, he's also here again. And so I want to say a very big thank you for committing and dedicating your time to saying that whatever it is, that are peculiar to the MLSCN, whatever it is the challenge that we are facing, that you are always there, to clarify matters and to see how you can make things, easier and also work better for us. Thank you so much. And one man we respect so much, a mentor, a man that has mentored young medical laboratory scientists, helped them develop themselves in various capacities, a man that has also ensured that some of our young medical laboratory scientists are well placed, in private facilities, and has ensured employment of young medical laboratory scientists in various reputable, health facilities, in fact, including his own lab. And we want to thank you for also availing yourself. We actually had to invite you, differently, because we know that a lot of our members have passed through your tutelage. And they're always glad when they know that you are around, to have, an engagement with them. And so we deemed it fit that you will also be part of this meeting as well. And so I want to appreciate your presence, Mr. Soji, Olusoji Biliros. Thanks for availing yourself. And
That's good.
Yes, sir. And also for everyone that have made out time, although like I had said earlier, I'm actually not encouraged, with the number we have here. I was expecting that by now the room should close and others should hook up, with our YouTube channel. But unfortunately, we are having 52 persons, 52 after all the awareness. And what does it tell us? These are just a few persons that actually desire, to get the right information. Also gets most of their questions and concerns addressed. So I must say thank you to every one of you who are present here. Although I'm also consoled that we have representatives of these facilities present here tonight. So we are hopeful that in a few minutes that we'll still have more, join us in the meeting. So I want to say thank you. And also to the international rep, you guys, you are a great guy. And I've always loved working with you. And I really want to appreciate your dexterity and passion, to see that things flow, the right way. And it will surely count for you in the nearest future. So I want to say a very big thank you for coming up with this concept and trying to ensure that all interns are brought together, under one umbrella. Okay, having said that, I want to welcome every one of you to this meeting. Now, the essence of this meeting is to give you orientation. We all know, you have just done your internship. Some of you are still doing you are in the process of your internship. And so you are still very young. In fact, you are a baby as long as the profession is concerned. And this discussion, this engagement will serve as a platform for orientation, okay, and effective awareness about the medical laboratory science profession. Okay, and also, apart from me looking up to the leader, we want you to also know the role you have to play, okay, so that you can also become a worthy ambassador of the profession. We want to see that wherever our members are, wherever young medical laboratory scientists are, they leave a good example.
Sorry, sir, please. Your voice is kind of dropping.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, sir, it's sharp now.
All right, thank you. So, like I said, the first is to ensure that we give you an orientation and effective awareness about the medical laboratory science profession. And also so that you can also know your role in becoming a worthy ambassador of the profession. Okay, so that wherever you find yourself, you can give effective representation. You must not be a leader to represent well. Even where you work, you must know what is expected of you. You must know how you carry yourself. Okay, that's one of the essence of this meeting. I think we also did our ethics in school. I think a little will also be shared on ethical conduct and also professionalism. Okay, so that whenever you see yourself with other colleagues, other sister health professionals, okay, you should be able to raise your shoulder high, okay, so that you don't see yourself as inferior. As we see some of our colleagues who really do not know their worth. If you know your worth, okay, you will stand tall, amongst the committee of other health professionals, not just in the country, globally, okay? So the ethical conduct and professionalism, will just shed a little light, what is expected of you. Then, of course, one area I know it's a major challenge to most of you, but I've come to realize that I think one of the key challenges in this area is that we are not better informed. We hear from so many places and we don't really know the right things to do, the right processes and procedures, to take. And that's on the issue of the license renewal. Of course, I know after your internship, you have to renew your, you have to convert your provisional license to your permanent license. So we want to ensure a smooth and hitch-free renewal process for you. All right. So that you don't get to call me in the middle of the night. I've suffered that in the past 2 years. Thank God that Mr. Greg from MLSCN is here. He will attest to that. And he also knows how often I get to call. Sometimes you want to call and you're already feeling for the person you are calling because you're always bombarded, even in the middle of the night, when our colleagues are in camp and they're going through a whole lot of challenges. So we're going to lay that to rest tonight. Hence, we have this reputable, dignified leaders of the profession present here in this meeting. All right. And I believe that we all have our questions, because I know many questions will come in this direction. So whatever it is, don't feel ashamed to speak. You have to speak out, because it is when you speak that you can get answers to your questions. And I know as professionals, we also conduct ourselves in an orderly manner. And I know we are well behaved. And so when you're throwing your questions, try as much as possible to do it in a constructive way, bearing in mind that what you seek is solution. All right. So, and also, we'll also want to engage you on committing yourself to professional activities. All right. If you actually want the profession to move forward, you also have to avail yourself. Okay, you have to be there. When there are meetings, you avail yourself. Where there are programs, you avail yourself. Where there are capacity trainings, you avail yourself. And by doing that, you're not just helping the profession, you're also developing yourself. Okay, you're also developing your capacity. All right. And of course, when we are together, we move faster. Our growth becomes rapid. Okay. And you have to, all these are things that are actually going to be discussed, tonight. All right. And when I say commitment, both to YMLSF and AMSIN activities. And also note, you cannot expect the leaders to do your bidding without you committing yourself, apart from for the meeting, committing yourself financially as well. So all those things have to come in. So that areas where you have a role to play, you play your role, then the leaders will also play their role. And at the end, we'll have a better profession for us. Let me tell you, MLS is growing. We are not where we were 10, 15, 5 years ago. There is rapid change. It may not be up to the pace that you expect, but I can tell you confidently that MLS is growing rapidly. But you need the right information so that you are not, so that you can disabuse your mind of whatever derogatory or thing you think about the profession. So all these things, we have the right persons to direct us and give us the information tonight. So other information that are vital and necessary for your knowledge and growth, you will also be. So, but must make sure you ask your questions. Make sure you ask your questions. So consider this meeting as extremely important. All right, because we are optimistic that at the end, we must have been able, to get to, at the end, we will believe strongly that we must have benefited immensely, and we'll all go back home, with the right information and not the misleading information you've been having. So once again, I want to say thank you all for availing yourself for this meeting. Over to you, Joe Great. All right,
okay,
Joe
thank
Great,
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, my president. You have said it all. Currently, the procedure we are going to take for our meeting tonight. First of all, we're going to have the representative. First of all, we are going to have the national president of AMSIN speaking to us. After that, we're going to have the representative from the council, Mr. Gregory. Then finally, we're going to have our capacity national publicity secretary of AMSIN coming to speak to us. Then afterwards, we'll have question and answer session. Whatever question you have, you're going to either put in the chat box. I'm going to give opportunity to some persons to also ask their question using the audio. So without wasting much time, I want to invite our national president, who is here present with us, the national president of AMSIN. AMSIN means Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria. In short, we call it AMSIN. The national president is no other person than Professor James Garba Damen. He is a professor at the University of Jos and have been our president for over 3 years now. and he has been doing fantastically well. So you're going to hear from him. Basically, I know the areas we're going to ask is what does AMSIN have for us as interns or as professionals coming in? What is our obligation to the council in terms of payment of dues? Also, what does AMSIN have in stock for interns and other professionals? So we're going to hear briefly from the National President of AMSIN. So please, as he comes up, please pay attention so that if you have questions later, you can ask him. Mr. President, sir, Prof, you are highly welcome.
Okay, Joe Greg and the team, good evening all. Good evening, I want to sincerely thank the organizers of this meeting, and I want to appreciate you for also inviting me to be part of it. I think this is the first time I'm interacting with interns in Nigeria, and to me, it's a very good opportunity. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you for graduating successfully in this profession. Okay, so I congratulate you for having passed out successfully from the university. You are a member of AMSIN the day you are inducted into the profession, and you are, I can say, just a younger professional, and it is our prayer that we should mentor you so that you will grow up to be a very responsible medical lab scientist, and you should also surpass us, despite the fact that we have even reached the peak of our profession. Our prayer is that those that are coming after us should even do and go even higher than where we are today. As you all know, Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria is an umbrella association for all practitioners of medical laboratory science profession in Nigeria. And the association was actually established far back in fact, it started even in 1920, but it was officially formed in 1964. And through the agitation of the members of the association, it gave birth to the Institute of Medical Laboratory Technology then. And through agitation of even the association, the institute undergo a lot of metamorphosis up to Act 11 of 2001, Act 11 of 2003, which gave birth to the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. So the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria is an arm of the federal government, saddled with responsibility of coordinating the practice, the training, and also how our practitioners should conduct themselves within the ambit of the law. And so I can say that the association has been making a lot of progress right from inception up to now. Yes, the profession, we have grown. We were medical laboratory technologists, and at that time we were also a middle professional cadre. But with all the progress that we have made so far, we are now high-level manpower in the health sector. And the current situation, we have a lot of challenges. There have been a lot of problems that we have. Mostly, we have the medical doctors, which they are under the umbrella of Nigeria Medical Association. They are actually not happy with our growth. They are not even happy with even our act. And so we have a lot of challenges, and those challenges are, in fact, on daily basis. They don't want us to even have our own autonomy. And we have a lot of array of cases, in fact, array of court cases. The good aspect is that all the cases we had in court, we've gotten judgment for over 20 court judgment has been given in our favor, but the implementation has been a challenge. Instead of the various hospitals to implement the court judgment, they decided to go to appeal. And so we have up to 10 cases as I speak that are in Court of Appeal for determination. And so we are being faced with a lot of challenges. Apart from even those appeal, the Medical and Dental Consultant Association also took us, not only AMSN, but other professional bodies to Federal High Court in Abuja. And that case is ongoing too. And so we also have challenges even in National Assembly, because the way our act is actually very, very good, very strong. And it's because of that act that it has helped us to win all the cases in court. And the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria decided to also take their act to National Assembly to amend some sections of their act. And one of it is that they want to be the one to regulate medical laboratory services, which we know that that is what our act clearly stated. And so we have a lot of challenges. In fact, I just got a message now from National Assembly, because the bill passed through Senate. Even though we were there in the public hearing, we made all our submissions, but to our dismay, our submission were not considered, and the Senate passes the bill. And so the bill is before House of Reps. If not that God has helped us to get correct contact, the House would have concurred. And so when they resumed, the National Assembly resumed just on the 17th of this month, last week, Tuesday. When they resumed, they tried to bring back that bill again. And so because of the contact that we had there, we were notified. And so when they now raised the matter to the officials of the National Assembly that this bill had a problem. So I just got a message from the clerk of National Assembly inviting us for a meeting next week to still see how we can resolve with them. And so by God's grace, the council will be there, AMSN will be there, and then other professional bodies too, because that their act is not affecting only AMSN alone, but other professional bodies. So we have also, the message has also gone to other professional bodies. And all that I can say is that you just put us in prayer, that as we go to National Assembly, God will help us to have favor before him. So we have a lot of challenges, and all that I would want to advise you is that please don't lose hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, this profession we are waxing stronger and stronger on a daily basis, and God has been helping us. We are doing very well, even in the International Federation of Biomedical Laboratory Science. This is the first time. We just came back from South Korea, where one of our former presidents, Dr. J.C. Okara, was elected into the board of directors of IFBLS, which is a very great achievement for us. In fact, his election is representing the whole of Africa continent in IFBLS, which is a very good plus to us. And the good aspect too is that we've made so much progress. The WHO, World Health Organization, the West Africa Health Organization, WAHU, has approved the West Africa Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science. And as it is now, so far 3 institutions have been given approval to commence the training. 2 are in Nigeria, Federal School of Medical Laboratory Science, JOS, and Federal College of Veterinary and Medical Laboratory Science in VOM. And then we also have University of Developmental Study in Ghana. So 3 institutions have been given approval to commence. So you are very lucky that you are just graduate, you are coming into the profession where we have a lot of processes for you to progress. You can progress academically by enrolling for residency program, for the fellowship program. You can also, many universities are offering postgraduate programs for master's, PhD in medical laboratory science. And so we don't expect that when you graduate, you just sit down. We expect that you should have a strategic plan for yourself and try to excel. There is nothing more than excellent. We want you to be excellent in whatever aspect. And so as it is now, the profession is going to train people to become specialists in different areas of specialization in medical laboratory science. And we've gone ahead to also have approval for dual certification. You can as well enroll into the fellowship program and concurrently also go in for your PhD. So you can graduate as a fellow and also back your PhD from the university. So it's a very good development that we're making. Our major challenges has actually been with our members. You know, all that we want is we want people to be patriotic, that you should be in good standing. Be in good standing with association, be in good standing with our council, because our council is a government organ regulating all the profession. All of us are members of the council, and the association, it's an association of all the practitioners. And so we always advocate to work hand in hand with council, being the government organ, and then we are the association of practitioners. And so let us try as much as we can to see that the young ones that are coming, you should be responsible. You don't need anybody to force you to make sure that you go and renew your license and also pay your annual association dues. You use actually these dues because for a lot of purposes. For example, I just told you we have a lot of court cases. You cannot hire a lawyer and then he goes to court without paying him. So we need all this money so that we can, we should be able to hire good lawyers, to those lawyers that are at the status of SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And apart from that too, we are also trying to see how we can develop ourselves. We have a national secretariat, which has been, the secretariat, the place was actually bought by our previous predecessors. Dr. T.Y. Rahim bought the place, started, Dr. Basi came, we came on board, and we make sure that we also consolidate on what they have done. And as it is now, our secretariat is actually habitable. We are organizing an official commissioning ceremony. And we are so passionate, especially for the young ones. I think maybe because of my background from the university. So we want the young one to be properly brought up. And that is why when we came on board, we bought another piece of land to build an ultra-modern research center. And the main aim is to see how capacity of young people, especially interns, the young medical lab scientists, they should be built. And my focus is, let us see how we can go into production of diagnostic in Nigeria. I am, in fact, each time my heart bleeds. Anytime when you talk about diagnostic, all of them, they are important. We cannot grow as a nation. We cannot grow even as professionals by depending on everything importation. I believe that we all have the brain. All that we need is just a little capacity building, and we'll be able to produce diagnostic in this country. Our target is to see how we want to transfer technology from the Western country to Nigeria. And so we need a place that we can be able to do this. And so when all of you cooperate with the national executive officers by paying your dues, I believe that it will not take a long time for our center to be ready. Our limitation is actually funding. Once funds are available to set up the place, it's very easy. We had gone ahead to even start talking with investors, talking with industries outside the country, and they're actually willing to collaborate with us. So the responsibility is ours. And so my appeal to all of you is that please be responsible medical laboratory scientists. Ensure that you are in good standing with our association. Ensure that you are in good standing with our council. And once we do that, it will go a long way in helping us to overcome all the challenges that are confronting us. God will help us. It will be fine. Usually when you have challenges, the joy is that we are not giving up, and we are hopeful that we are still going to overcome all the challenges. We are not going to, in fact, we are not going into practicing another profession. This is our own profession. But our major challenge is that people that went to university, you went and read medicine. After that, you say you want to come back to the lab and become a pathology. Then you want to be the head of. We will not accept that, and that is what we are struggling for. And what we are doing here is actually for some of you that are coming. We know that we have overcome this in many places, but especially some teaching hospitals that we are still having this problem. We have not given up, and we are hopeful that we will overcome all the challenges. And so my final word is that let us please conduct ourselves as professionals. When you are doing your internship program, please ensure that you behave well. When you are on duty, ensure that you are there. If you are not on duty, let them know you are not on duty. And the issue of majority of the young that they just want to make fast money is not done like that in life. You make the money fast, and then the money will even destroy you. Try and learn, because internship is also part of learning process. So try and learn and get knowledge and develop your skill. The money will even come after you when all those things are done. But if you want to cut corners, we are going to have problem. And please, when you finish your internship, even if you have not maybe gotten work, don't make a mistake of saying you want to apply to go to another place again for internship because they will be paying you. If you do that, that thing is illegal. And remember that we have ethics of medical laboratory science. So we should try to avoid that. And my appeal to all of us is that we should be focused. Let us have plan for your life. In the next 3 years, what will you be? In the next 5 years, what will you be? You need to make a lot of sacrifice, attend workshops, attend conferences. That is where you can learn a lot of skills. You make, a lot of relationship with people that are ahead of you. And let us also maintain what we call mentee and mentor relationship, even after you are, so that your mentor will still be guiding you on what you should do. And then this is politics. We are in a political era. Anytime you find yourself where you can attend political meeting, please avail yourself. That is one of the area that we don't have people in politics. As I speak to you, we don't have anybody in National Assembly. We have only one that is even in House of Reps, but even that one in House of Reps, he refused to identify with us. We have called him severally. We've sent him a lot of messages. He refused to identify with us. So those are part of our challenges. Now the other people are using their members that are in National Assembly, in National Assembly, House of Reps, House of Senate. And so most of them, they are helping their members. So I would want to advise that for some of you, those that have interest or passion for politics, please, we will encourage you to join politics. You may be helpful to us as time goes on. So on this note, I want to thank you for this opportunity to address you all. Thank you and God bless you.
Wow, thank you. Wow, this is, yeah, thank you very much, Prof. You know, you don't get to listen to the president always. So that's why I gave enough time for the president to address us. And I believe you also agree with me that from beginning to end, there was always point that he was making, and everything is quite touching. For me, some of the key points he raised, we should have plan for our life. We should also get engaged with politics, because that is what drives every association or profession. We should be in good standing with the council and the association, support each and every one of these two bodies. Very important also, we should always show up conferences and have mentors and maintain mentor relationship. I don't think there's anywhere we can hear all this today, if not from this engagement, because definitely Prof have seen it all from the scratch, and he's now the national president. I can tell you that whatever advice, and he has been an HOD of department in the university, so he knows the owners. Thank you very much, Prof. After the two other speakers conclude, we are going to have questions and comments from the interns. Please kindly mute yourselves. Okay. So we are going to have the representative from the council speak to us for 10 minutes. Afterwards, you're going to speak on getting your permanent license, making sure how to the processes involved, and how we can remain in good standing with the council, and also inform us every other new development from the council. I know most of us here are almost done with our internship. Some are about to start, and I believe that in the next 1 or 2 months, some will even conclude their internship. So they will need to know what the processes are involved, are in place, and what are their roles, and what they need to do to make sure they get their licenses, and other details and other information he has for us. He's going to use 10 minutes to address us. Afterwards, we're going to have Sojibili Rose speaking to us on ethics. I know the president have touched on some salient points on ethical conduct, but our National Public Secretary is going to speak to us on ethical conduct that will make us to become professionals that are well sought out for out there and become success, whatever society or community we find ourselves. So I want to use the opportunity to welcome Mr. Greg Ochuno to come on stage and address us on the council issues and areas we need to know. Mr. Greg Ochuno, you can take the mic now. Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening once again, and greetings from the registrar and members of and staff of the Medical Lab Science Council of Nigeria. Very briefly, as a medical laboratory scientist student at year 3, you must be indexed with the council. Once you are indexed with the council, then the council recognizes you as an upcoming medical lab scientist. Once that is done, you can now take your part 3 exam, part 4 exams, and your final professional exams. Once that is done, the next step will be for us to induct you. Now, induction is an oath-taking ceremony. And the words you recite are things you must imbibe and stand by. It is not enough for you to take oath and go against what you have sworn to, because it's like swearing. You swear to certain things. Once induction is done, you are given certain things. You are given logbook, you're given a small lapel pin, you're given an act, the act that is so dear to us, Act 11/2003. Study these things, understand these things, and they will guide you. Once you are through with your internship, once you are through, immediately you finish. Please do not go and sit down. Get your logbooks endorsed by the various departments that you have gone to. Understand something. There are 4 main departments you must go and understudy. 1, chemistry, hematology, microbiology, and histology. If you don't have these 4 things in your logbook, you will not be registered. Therefore, if you go to a hospital that does not have histology, look for the nearest hospital as a group through your coordinator. Look for the nearest hospital that offers histology, and you go there for 1 month. Whoever takes you in that area will endorse your logbook. Once your logbook is fully endorsed, please bring it to the council. Don't wait till you are called up. Don't wait till you're called up. This is the bane of the challenge that you always have when you go for youth service. Understand, youth service is for 1 year. And they demand that if you are supposed to be licensed, you should be licensed for the 1 year of the internship. If not, prior to that, when we started our new e-licensing, we agreed that our colleagues could enter into camp using the temporary license, which is just for 1 month. But later on, after a meeting with them, we scrapped it. Therefore, as soon as you finish, your logbook is filled. Come to the council with your logbook, with your employment letter. Now, when I say your employment letter, that is the letter that they gave you to come and start internship. You come to the council with your results, WAEC results, your university results, and any other thing you think is necessary to identify yourself. You bring it to the council. Understand? You were registered as a student. However, your file must be upgraded once you are through with your internship. So these things will naturally enter your file. The only time you might have a full file in the council is if you are inducted, and during that 1 year after your induction, you do not do internship. You will have to renew your internship provisional license for the next year. That will cost you 1,000 naira for renewal. In that case, A file will be opened for you. Your code of conduct will be put inside. And from there, that file will develop into your scientist file. Now, once your logbook is complete and you come to the council, you are exempt from certain things. You will not have to present CPD for 2 years. In other words, when you're submitting your logbook, you will not present CPDs. And when you're doing immediately after your youth service, you will not be asked for CPD. However, once you are through with your internship, you are expected to pay for your provision, your full license, and your association dues. These will be collected once you come to register. As a new scientist, you will pay a total sum of 6,000 naira for the council, plus 1,000 naira for bulletin. Then you will pay 23,000 naira to the association. This association dues will include your legal fees, because we have a special fee that we pay for legal services that the association goes under, and your 13,000 naira that you're also supposed to pay to the association. Once this is done, your license is prepared. Now, with the new procedure we have, most of these things are now done online. Once you come to the council with your logbook and everything, and you pay, you will immediately be uploaded onto the registration portal, where you will be asked to go and fill in your details on your own portal slide. Once you get there, you follow the promptings. You put in your RA number, you put in your password, which you would have generated yourself, and your platform falls down. You fill up and then upload your passport picture. This passport picture must be a passport with a white background, preferably taken in the studio, because this is something that you might have to use over the years. I might not be able to change it for a while. So once that is done, your license is almost automatically ready. Now, for you new ones that are coming in, once you get to the council with your logbook and everything, once these things are verified, you will be loaded onto the platform. Again, you fill your details and pay through the platform. You will now pay your council dues through that platform. Once you've paid your dues, you do not need to send your payments again to council. Once you pay through the platform, your payment goes straight to your page. And once it's on your page, council will now prepare your license. Now, when you want to come and collect your license, you will need to show proof that you have paid association dues. This is why we say, once you finish your internship, do not wait. If you finish your internship in December, come to the council. If you won't need to pay, for that year. That same year. No, you only pay for the next year. However, if you finish before December, that is from January to November, you will pay for that same year, but you will not be penalized. Once it is past April 1st, you will not be penalized. However, if you finish before April, you will have to pay. If you finish before April and you don't come to register before that April, you will have to pay penalty. Now, as a tip, finally, whenever it is time to pay your dues. Quickly run and pay your APF. APF is annual practicing fee. Just pay that. Once you pay your annual practicing fee, every other thing does not attract penalty. It is painful to see when our colleagues have to cough out 200% because you didn't pay on time. My final word of advice is that the association is the fighting arm of medical laboratory scientists. If you don't pay your dues to the association, our association suffers and we also suffer. They are the people that do our battle. Be patriotic and always be in good standing with the Medical Lab Science Council of Nigeria and the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Greg Ochuno, the Director, Regulation and Practitioners Regulatory Directorate of MLSCN. We are really happy. I didn't get this clarity when I was after my internship, but now we have opportunity to hear directly from the council. Indeed, information is power. I know we have many questions. I know we have questions for the council and the AMSIN. You can drop that on the chat box, and later we'll also raise your hands to ask. But in the next 10 minutes, I want to give the opportunity to the National Publicity Secretary of AMSIN, in the person of MLS Sojibili Rose, to address us on ethical conduct as professionals. I know we did ethics during our time in school, but I can tell you that I know recently there's a time council even places of internship. I think a hospital reported 2 interns to council, and these members were brought to disciplinary committee. And council have the right to suspend anybody that violates ethical conduct and you cease to practice. Once you are caught practicing, you can be imprisoned. Is there in the Act of 2003. So it's good. Let us be aware of how we should conduct ourselves and be better practitioners. So I want to invite Sojibili Rose to take the center stage for 10 minutes. By 9:30, we're going to have the question and comment period. We want to end this meeting at most by 9:45 so that we'll all go to rest and prepare for tomorrow's work. So, sir, you are welcome. Take the stage, sir.
Okay, good evening, distinguished colleagues. Let me recognize the able and dynamic presence of our national president, my leader, Professor Garba James Damen, and the director, scientist discipline, Mr. Greg Chono. Let me say that this program is quite apt, and I'm happy that you guys are looking into issues like this that will help prepare the medical laboratory intern to be able to deliver on the values of the profession. And enough awareness have been created. A lot of information have been dished out by the national president, and then also our able director from the council. I will just highlight a few things just for the purposes of reminding us or bringing to the forefront some of the issues that we as medical lab scientists should really raise up and concern ourselves with. Number one, I need to establish that we're a high-level manpower. We're a profession. And what defines a profession is that a group of people have long, distinct training in a particular field. So that defines us. Number two, the fact that we are a creation of the Act of Parliament. Medical Lab Science Council is a creation of the of Parliament. Act 11 of 2003 created the council. And again, we are given license to practice. The license that we have, we actually hold in trust on behalf of government, on behalf of society. So when you are given license to practice, it means you have been entrusted with the mandate to provide medical laboratory science services to the population. And we need to do this ethically and very professionally. Of course, I interact with quite a lot of our people, and I know that there are gaps, which most of them probably missed it at the foundational levels like this. I know it is very difficult for you to teach a man how to use the left hand in old age, like they say. So sometimes it's difficult to bend people. When you attempt to bend them, you end up breaking them. So, but for us, we are fortunate that some of these things are being brought forward for us to be able to understand the imperatives of why these things are very, very germane and necessary. So ethics basically is our moral principles, you know, that governs our behavior, or what you will call a profession called code of conduct, how a professional should carry himself, how a professional should behave. This is generally what we refer to when we talk about ethics. You know, there's no rocket science. So a code of ethics is a set of, if you like, you can say official standards of behavior or official standards of conduct that members of an expected group, you know, uphold. So for MLS, of course, we also have our code of conduct. This code of conduct were read out at the point of induction, you know, and the code of conduct, of course, about 10 for MLS. And I just want to quickly brush us through some of these. Number one, we'll talk about exercise of professional knowledge and skills. Okay, you must be able to exercise professional knowledge. And for you to exercise professional knowledge, you must be up to date when it comes to professional capacity building. So professional knowledge is very, very key, and skills. So you must sharpen your skills so that when you do a test, for example, as a medical lab intern, okay, you remember that that test is the product that you are giving out to your clients who are the patient or the doctor. You must ensure that the results that you are dishing out is a true reflection of patient physiological and biochemical status. It must not be a product of guesswork, okay? We see people who, they give out results for maybe ENU, electrolytes, electrolytes. You're supposed to give out electrolyte, urea, and creatinine, for example. You've done electrolyte, you did creatinine, and then urea, you are out of stock for reagent for urea. I just say, this electrolyte looks normal. Creatinine is within normal range. I think the urea should be normal. You just write a figure there, okay? And you know you didn't do that test. There is no even, you're even out of stock, but you didn't want to give a result that seems incomplete. Then you exercise your own judgment, and you didn't do that test. That is erroneous, because there are a lot of factors that can affect urea value, okay? That creatinine is normal doesn't mean urea will be normal. A lot of factors affect urea value, a lot of the state of hydration, diet, whether postrenal, a lot of factors can affect outcome, even infection, high level metabolism and all that, sicknesses that break down cells like diabetes, cancers, and sepsis. Those things can also trigger increased dehydration. So you can't just say, let me put something there. So that will be fraud, okay? That will not be acceptable. So you must be able to exercise exercise your skills, bring it to bear, and work with what is provided. If you have not done a test, please don't write the result. Don't write result. Ensure that you practice and give out results that doctors and your clients can use for the purposes of treatment, diagnosis, and all of that. Then you must demonstrate, like I said, the highest standard of conduct, honesty, and integrity. Don't pilfer samples, reagents from the store. Don't carry maybe a microscope. You just saw 10 microscopes and say, I need to start my lab, or after I graduate, let me help myself with one, and then you carry one, okay? That is dishonesty, that is theft. And when you are caught, it will damage your reputation and embarrass the entire profession. So don't engage yourself in those kind of conduct. Okay, you are on call and then you want to, like the president mentioned, don't be in a hurry to make money. Okay, and then you begin to do so many things. We have people today that don't really, they do a lot of quackery. You see, somebody will say he used a urinalysis strip to do LFT. Okay, I've seen colleagues that use urinalysis strip to do LFT. How on earth did you get there? Okay, and then you see people who pull sample. They'll just pull like 5 patients sample for hepatitis B and use one strip to run all of them. If all of them is negative, then you now say they are negative. If it's positive, you now start doing all those practices are substandard practices that you should not, indulge. Even if others are doing it, tell them that you will not do it in that facility. Okay, so these are things that are very important, and it's expected that we are knowledgeable. Today we see a lot of scientists who are not knowledgeable, and a lot of senior colleagues accuse most of us that they feel very embarrassed having conversation with us. You can't even discuss glucose properly. You can't discuss clinical implication of electrolyte derangement. You can't discuss microbiology. You can't discuss, you don't understand so many concepts, okay? Principles of testing. You must embrace yourself as a scientist. You must be very knowledgeable in all of this. So you must also respect the faith and the beliefs of others. Some of you are from the South, and then you find yourself doing internship in the North, okay, where the majority are Muslims. People have to dress certain ways. You must respect their faith. You must respect their culture, okay? And then ensure that you integrate properly wherever you find yourself. Respect the faith and the beliefs of the people you work with. Okay, that is very important. Then you must maintain and improve and keep, your professional knowledge and skills, as mentioned earlier. The president have mentioned the need for you to update yourself. Okay, when you don't update, they say you will outdate. So you need to update yourself. Learn from in fact, personally, I belong to almost all the societies. I have never missed the Histo Scientists Conference. I'm not sure I've missed one. The Hematology and Blood Transfusion, I attend their conferences. Okay, and I'm a member. The Chemical Pathology Society, I'm also a member. It's only microbiology, I think I've not had them meet. So probably I have also joined. I attend these conferences, I pay for them. I attended a lot of conferences on molecular biology. Okay, almost all the training that council did on quality assurance, I've attended virtually all, okay, with my money. So today I can speak to microbiology, I can speak to some of those issues that, you'll find out that some of our colleagues are skilled only in one area. So build your capacity, build your capacity, because it is very key. These are the things that are going to make us shine forth. Let me just rush, our time is going. Then the issue of confidentiality is very important. Don't disclose people's results, okay? you must maintain utmost confidentiality. Don't discuss somebody in the church or in the mosque. You saw you did somebody's HIV result, I mean, testing on Saturday, or you saw that lady in the church on Sunday, and they are telling your friend, don't go this way, that girl, she gets something. You know, it is very, very unprofessional. It is wrong. Don't disclose anybody's result to anybody. So this is very, very important. Then you must promote the activity of the council. And then finally, you must show due respect and gratitude to your teachers. Okay, you must maintain friendly relationship. So these things are key. Respect your senior, respect seniorities. Our seniors are called chiefs. You must call them by chiefs. You don't just call somebody by his first name. Okay, you say chief. This is how we run in the profession. There are things that I was taught in school, and they call them forbidden A's. For a professional, you must be mindful of your association. You don't associate with people whose character are not consistent with the calling of our profession. For example, you're a medical lab scientist. We don't expect that the chief armed robber in your area, people suspecting that he's a criminal, that's your friend, that's the person everybody sees you with, or prostitute, okay? The way you carry yourself, it is not expected. You must conduct yourself professionally. If there are associations that will embarrass the reputation of the profession and embarrass your reputation, you must not be seen to be associated with it. Your attitude must be top-notch. As professional, you must dress very well. Okay, we see these days people dress anyhow. They combine the, ladies will. I saw one intern. You needed to see the hair was almost touching the ground, and I said, "Don't very intelligent." I knew she didn't know. I said, "This hair is too long." In fact, what we are taught, if you look at ISO checklist, your hair should not be above your shoulder. If it's above your shoulder, when you come into the lab, you are supposed to tie it. The guys are supposed to be well trimmed. You trim you don't leave your beards and make you look like we're confused when we see you. Okay, even if you're going to keep beard, they must be well trimmed, neatly done. Okay, your clothes must be properly ironed. You must wear shoes and not slippers. Scientists and colleagues should not wear slippers. You must wear a shoe. This is safety requirement for you to work in the lab, so that if you have issues of injury or near misses, you are sure that your legs your foot is protected. So you must dress properly. You must dress your neckties. You must dress in your shirts, in your suits. Okay, this is what is expected. You must iron your clothes. You must appear very, very decent. And when you dress well, it generates confidence. The public have confidence in you. You must look different. You shouldn't be confused with a member of Nigerian Union of Road Traffic, workers. When people see you, they should look like a professional, not looking haggard. And then you do dreadlocks, and you go and dye your hair red, yellow, green. It's not allowed. You can do those things in the weekend or when you're going for shows. But for a professional, you must look like one. If you see a doctor in the office, there are expectations you want to see. Otherwise, people will not have confidence. The same thing for a medical laboratory scientist. Okay, and then the issue of addiction. A medical lab scientist should not practice under the influence of alcohol. I used to have a colleague those days, a senior colleague, that he will say it is only when he drinks and is high that he can do his work. Okay, that is wrong. He will, even when he's coming to ease himself, you will discover that he will even remove his shoe before he enters the toilet. How did you get to that kind of level? So please, we must not practice under the influence of alcohol. We must avoid all forms of addiction. Okay, any form of addiction, because these little things will cause embarrassment to the profession. So please, you must study very well, be apt, be very professional, have integrity, be very respectful to the elderly ones. And then if you have deficiencies, please go and work on them. A medical lab scientist should be able to speak proper grammar. Proper grammar. We see people today who are employed cannot speak well. The tenses are wrong. It causes a lot of embarrassment, when people say, and he's a medical lab scientist, cannot speak proper grammar. Okay, so work on your tenses. We want to see men and women who are very, very knowledgeable, who have integrity, who holds themselves up to society as men, as men that can be trusted, who practice ethically, professionally, and also holds the patients or the client's results in utmost confidentiality. So these are a few things that I just felt I should share with us. Attend conferences, build capacity. If you need to go for exhibitions outside this country, please do that. MLS is one of the best courses you can ever do. You are fortunate to do. Forget whatever you see. There's a lot of fortune, a lot of prospect, and a lot of potentials, possibilities, and profitability that you can get, practicing as MLS. Thank you guys for the short time. I hope I've not bored you.
No. Wow. Wow. So, very eloquent as usual, very, very direct. And I know somebody said in the group that it is very anemic to give somebody 10 minutes to speak on ethics. The 10 minutes is anemic for such a speech, and I agree with him. But you are able to use average of 12 minutes to really talk to us. And I must say that anytime I hear you speak, I am really motivated and inspired, because you are not just talking, but you are also acting. We can see what you are saying in you, and we can see it in whatever you are doing. Thank you very much, sir. And I can say that the younger ones here, they are very happy to have listened to you. So without wasting time, so if you have questions, if you have need for clarifications, either from the national president of AMSIN or from the representative of the council, Mr. Greg Ochono, or you want to ask any question or need clarification from Mr. Soji, you can raise your hand or you drop your questions in the chat box. I'm going to have opportunity for three persons will be okay. Okay, I can see 4 hands up. Okay.
There's no place where I can raise up. I have a very important question to ask. Yes.
Okay, just introduce yourself and go on. You didn't. I think one of the things we need to do, we also need to be tech savvy as young person. So I think that's where you can raise your hand actually. Okay, you can go ahead. Just your name, introduce yourself and say your name. The next person will be Ahmed Saleh. So go ahead.
My name is Mohammed Idris Mohammed from Zaria, Ahmadu Bello University Hospital, Zaria. I have two questions. The first question was, what are foreign graduates? Are they still submitting copies of their credentials too, as in WAEC degree certificate? That's my first question. Meanwhile, they have documented everything to the council during the registration process of indexing registration with council before the exams, national exams. My two questions is that, like, one of my colleagues, he couldn't join actually, he's sick. We started internship together here at Ahmadu Bello University Hospital. So he's working with the state government, Kaduna State Ministry of Health. So the state now insisted that he has to come back to the state and continue with his internship. Meanwhile, some of the parts like microbiology, hematology, and history has been signed for him. The main chemistry. So can he come back to the state, complete the chemistry in the state, signed in the state, and send it to the council? That's my question to the council reps. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that question. I'm going to take two questions, then, or two or three persons. Then the persons that are the question directed to answer. So please, I believe our guest speakers are taking note. The second person is Ahmad Saleh. Please go ahead, Ahmad Saleh.
Good evening, distinguished.
Your name, your hospital, then you talk to us.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ahmad Saleh, and I'm a graduate from Bayero University, Kano. I'm currently doing my internship at Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. So I have two questions, one for the council representative and the other for our national president, AMSIN. The first is the issue of licensing. From what I learned from some of our colleagues, there used to be a group representation where they will gather their document and one person will be channeling and processing the licensing for them. So I would like to know if that is still applicable and how acceptable is it by the council. Then secondly, with regards to my question to our AMSIN chairman, he mentioned some of the segments of professional development that we have as a prospect for this very profession, for the professionals in Nigeria. He mentioned things like the residency, things like that. So I would like to know, is this residency in medical laboratory science currently into practice in Nigeria, or is that we are processing and hoping to start having residency in the nearest future? This is my question to him. And secondly, there is this challenge. I don't know, in few sentences, I know we don't have time, if you can be able to shed more light on with respect to the issue of the Council of Microbiology in Nigeria, and there was this assault. Let me say, some of our colleagues have been challenged that microbiology is having a council. So we would like more light from the perspective from the AMSEN on that aspect. Thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much, Sally, for that question. I think the last person before we take, before they will respond, then we'll come back to the questions. It's the time, we'll watch time. Bukumi Ipadiola, sorry for if I'm not pronouncing it well. Bukumi, you can go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I want to appreciate the YMLSF for organizing this meeting. Our amiable.
Please, 30 seconds for your questions. You might not have time for greetings. Just go ahead. Just your name, your hospital, and your question. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm Bukumi Ipadiola from State Hospital Oyo State. So I want to humbly make a comment concerning the state of YMLSF in Oyo State. As an intern here, I've not really been getting best of information, and I really want the the YMLSF president to look into that area, because I don't think the YMLSF Oyo State here is really functioning. I've not even met the president.
Okay, don't worry. I think before we'll drop the contact of the chairman in that group after this meeting. I think that will be sorted out. Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then the last person before we answer the question, all those you ask, Emmanuel Awan. You said?
Please, I have a very quick question, and I just want to ask: are they aware?
Who is speaking, please? Who is speaking?
Odunlade from Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital. I just want to
please,
ask.
I think I didn't appoint you to speak, but you can go ahead since you have started.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please, others should take notes, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just want to ask if the council and AMSEN and YMLSF is aware that the interns were not being paid the hazard allowance as our other colleagues were being paid that amount from federal government.
I'm currently hearing that some hospitals have started paying. Anyway, thank you very much. The national president will address that. But I heard some hospitals have started paying gradually. I think the national president will address that too. Thank you for that question. I think for now, Mr. Greg, you can come up and answer the ones that pertains to you. Then the national president will come. Then we'll take some other few questions.
Thank you very much. The first question is about foreign graduates. Yes, when I'm sorry, I didn't really address the issue of foreign graduates when I spoke. Anything I said prior to this was strictly for Nigerian graduates. Now, for the foreign graduates, foreign graduate acceptance has evolved. In 2014-15, when we started this program for foreign graduates, first of all, you have to understand that the Medical Lab Science Council of Nigeria is mandated to select, educate, retrain, and license foreign graduates in Nigeria. Now, when a foreign graduate wants to get registered in Nigeria, you normally send in your documentation, and then you instruct your school to also send in your transcript. Then you are given a letter in the council to go to the Federal Ministry of Education, and then they will give you a letter to bring to council telling us that your school is recognized by the Federal Ministry of Education. Now, once all this documentation has been given to the council, you do not need to submit any other documents. You do not need. You are aware that today, because of the lapses, and I don't mean it as an insult or as a derogatory remark, but you are aware that because of it's just exactly what Billy Rose said, when he was saying that it is important that graduates of medical lab scientists carry themselves well, not just carry themselves well, speak well, converse well, and are able, should have some level of eloquence. And you should also be able to write. As a graduate, if you can't write, then I wonder what you did in school. Now, when we started off this foreign graduate program, it was 6 months internship direct. You just go for 6 months internship, you come and do an exam, and then you're registered. We found out that it wasn't sufficient. So we had to create a program, a training program for 6 months, after which you do an exam, then you are registered. We also found that that one was not sufficient, and that a lot of people that were coming for this foreign graduate stuff were not really well trained. We now had to go to 7 months, from 7 months to 9 months, from 9 months to 1 year. After which, we now even brought in internship for them. So this is how foreign graduates registration in Nigeria has evolved. Now, if you start your internship in a certain place, it is required that you finish up in that place you started off. But remember that I said, if you start internship somewhere and they don't have one of the major branches of medical laboratory sciences, which is chemistry, hematology, microbiology, and histology, you must go somewhere, and it must be somewhere that has been accredited by the council, and do your histology or your chemistry to be well grounded. Let me use this opportunity to say something. You will find out that it is not what they teach you in school that you practice on the bench. By the time you get to the bench, your first day on the bench, my brothers and sisters, there will be confusion in your head. You will have to start. You will have to start relearning again. You will relearn and learn what is on the bench. So don't think that because you're a medical lab scientist, you are finished medical, you just go into the lab and you become a guru. Nah, that is not true. So you must complete those 4 parts. It is this internship that exposes you to what is done on the bench. Then finally, because of our new system of payment, which is online and is on each person's page on the platform, anything that is done in group must be planned well. Take, for instance, if you are working in Ogun State and in maybe Federal Medical Center Federal Medical Center in Ogun State, and your money is deducted from source, the executive there should arrange and pay into one person's account. Then that person will now get all the details of everybody and do individual payments per person on the platform. That is the only way you can now make payments for your annual practicing fee and other things. It is not like in those days where you just do payment and you come in with your payments and no. Now, all payments, we are trying to cut down on paperwork, paper documentation. We're trying to be 2020 compliant, not even 2020. I mean, we're trying to be compliant. So we are now going paperless. So once you make your payment, it goes to your platform and your license is prepared. Please avail yourself of these things and you won't have any problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Before you go, thank you very much for those clarifications. There is one question on the chat box that is for you. We say that the interns, are they supposed to travel to Abuja for their first permanent license? You know, with all the documents, the logbook, the passport, and so on that they need to submit to council for it to be verified, and the letter for it to verify before they are registered. Are they supposed to travel, or is there a way council have created the way that people can bill it to council or something? So I think you should address this one before Prof comes in.
Thank you very much, my brother. You can, for your logbooks and your documentation that you need to send to council, you can bill it. You can send them to council, you can courier it, or you can give one person to bring. Because these logbooks must be domiciled in your files. So you will need to send them down. But it is not really necessary that every person should come down and do that. Now, let me give you an update. What we agreed in the top management meeting that we had last week was that anytime anybody's license is prepared, what we are going to do now is that we're going to scan it to the email that is on your page. We'll scan it to that email, and you can now print it out in colored and have your license with you. You don't even have to come down to the council. Maybe whenever somebody is coming down to the council, you can send the person with a written letter, or you place a call when the person is around, and then we'll give you the original license. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. That answers the question. Except that some people might ask, where are they waving it to, or who are they addressing it to, if they are to waving it to the council?
Everything that comes to the council, please address to the registrar CEO. Anything that gets to him, he will mean it to the appropriate department. Try not to use man, no man. You see, it's this man, no man that causes the issue of missing files, lost files, misplaced files, and delayed licensure. Just do it the normal way. Post it to the registrar CEO. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for those clarifications. Okay, so we have some questions that is meant for Prof, especially the area. I don't know, maybe you should have jotted some of the questions, sir. The residency and also the microbiology bill. And so on. Yes, sir. Prof.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate the person that asked the question. Now, like I said, that after graduation from the university, there are two pathways for you to actually move on, academically and professionally. So professionally is that you enroll for the West Africa Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science. Like I said, two centers have been approved, have been given approval by the councils of the West Africa Postgraduate College. One is in Jos. In fact, the two are actually in Jos. One is in Federal School of Medical Lab here in Jos, and then the other one, Federal College of Veterinary and Medical Laboratory Science in Vom. So I know that in December, that's last month, there is an implementation committee that the Federal School of Medical Laboratory Science set up, and they have made and also submitted their report. So the program is actually commencing. And so you have to buy the form. For example, for those that you just graduate, you have to write what we call primary exam. But for those that have masters, you are exempted from writing primary exam. Then you have to apply, and everything is actually online. I'm sure very soon the advert for those that are interested will be out. That's what I can tell you about this. Then the second, well, like I told you, we have part of the challenges we have. We have many challenges, many bills in National Assembly that we have to stand up to actually fight them, to protect, especially provision of MLSCN Act 11 of 2003. Now you discover that there are some bills that are coming, and when those bills are actually taking the responsibility that is contained in MLSCN Act 11 of 2003. For example, people that read microbiology, it's not a profession, okay? But they just decided that they want to also have a council. And part of the responsibility, they have taken it from our own, from council, MLSCN Act. They also took NAFDAC responsibility too, that they want that their council to be doing. But I assure you that we are on it anyway. You see, the problem is, in fact, our National Assembly, they are not sincere, because in the public hearing, all that transpires there, under normal condition, that bill was supposed to be dropped. But we're just surprised that the Senate has passed it. However, we still, we are trying to get the clean copy that Senate has passed to be able to study it, whether all our submission is considered. But I assure you that if it is not considered, definitely we are going to still pin it down in House of Representatives. So I don't think there is problem. Apart from that one, do you know that even people that read anatomy bill, there is also anatomy bill in National Assembly. Those that read anatomy, they also want to have a council. And their own responsibility, they are also taking part of even the provision of our council. People that are doing, you specialize in histopathology, they want to be the one to be regulating it. So, and all those bills, honestly, by the grace of God, I think our position was very clear. We oppose those bills to pass through. And let me also tell you that those bills were also discussed in the Presidential Health Sector Reform Committee. And the good aspect is that what they wanted was to bring MLSCN under MDCN. But God helping us, we have rejected that thing. And so our recommendation was to strengthen the existing councils and then to limit proliferation of other regulatory bodies. An example was actually made especially for microbiology. If you look at it critically, a 4-year program is not a profession, okay? And they just want to, council is meant to regulate profession. Microbiology is not a profession. No, but people are just desperate about that. But I think by God's grace, we'll overcome them. Then the other, yes, yeah. Then the other issue of the hazard allowance. Yes, I am told that there are some hospitals that have actually started paying. And I know that from the beginning, even when we approached Federal Ministry of Health, the reason was that they did not tabulate. In fact, all the institutions, they were given a directive to compute all the interns in the various hospitals and submit, so that budgetary allocation should be made for that. And the way I was told, because we just came from Uyo, and the information we got was that some hospitals have started paying. So we'll still need to follow up and find out the correct information. So, but you should not be disturbed, you should not be worried, because all the hospitals that interns are, they have actually compiled the financial implication I have submitted. So you'll be paid as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. We'll have the final round of questions. It's already 10 o'clock. Actually wanted to close by 9:45, but this is one of its kind. This program is one of its kind. And I would like to plead with our guest speakers. I know they're not supposed to stay this long, but please just give us extra 10 minutes. So that we'll round up this program. So I'm going to give opportunity for three more questions. After then, one more questions in the chat box, and we call it a day. Please just go straight to the point. You have less than 20 seconds for your question. So if you take more than 20 seconds, I will stop you. Emmanuel Anwar, please go ahead with your question. Your name, your hospital, and your question, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Anwar. I just wanted to ask the council rep, sir, two things. One, on the issue of regulation of internship, to see that people don't repeat internship in multiple places. How can the council help that? Because there are limited slots and yet people repeating internship and taking away slots from people that don't have. And secondly, seeing how we can try to make the whole sourcing for internship thing easier for people. Is there a way to centralize it so people don't have to apply to several places and travel all around the country to source for internship? We had an issue where someone died recently in a vehicle accident trying to look for internship some months back, a grad of AAU. So these things and other implications, financial implications and everything. So how can we try to sort out these two matters? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. The last person, Chooks. Please go straight to the point.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. This issue I'm about to say is not actually peculiar to only MLS. It's actually all encompassing in all the health sciences in this facility. That's encompassing pharmacy, radiographer, and
Are you using
Please,
earpiece? Maybe
your voice is not clear.
Maybe you remove your earpiece or something, or you come closer to your phone. If that is not possible, if your network is having challenge, maybe you type your questions, your question on the chat box. Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Can you hear me very well now?
Better. Please go ahead.
I say that this issue I'm about to raise now is not actually peculiar to only MLS in my facility.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all encompassing all the.
What's the name of your facility, please? The name of the facility.
Esut Teaching Hospital. Esut Teaching Hospital, Backlane.
Yeah, it's Enugu. Okay, go
Backlane,
ahead.
yes. So we will actually resumed. Normally, every intern medical lab scientist and also for all health sciences are placed on a salary scale of Conet 8, step 2. That is what is contained in the appointment letters that we are given. But I'm telling you that Conet 8, step 2 is just nothing but a nomenclature. We have actually been paid way less of what is written on that appointment letter. And I think this is actually a slap on our faces because every other hospital is paying somewhere between 130 to 135, but my facility is paying nothing more than 109,000 naira every month. It is not something to write home about. And I think there should be a stagnant or a static amount that should be all encompassing in all the facilities, provided the facilities offering internship programs, not considering whether it is federal or state, because that has always been the explanation they give to me, that it's you are doing your internship under a state hospital and not a federal hospital. But that shouldn't be the case at all. Since the state has actually agreed to undergo this internship program, they should be also be capable of paying that amount, which is due for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I get your question. Thank you very much. Okay, then I think most of your questions are cancelled. I think that's the last question on the box that says that what are the processes involved for those interested in private practice? How does CPD attain the conferences, helps in license renewal? You never finish internship, you define to open lab. Please, okay, these are the questions we have here. I think one of the questions on the chat box is about what the person needs to do what the purpose of CPD in license renewal. So please, Mr. Greg, I think you have most of the questions. Then maybe our prof will address, Mr. Sojo will address the issue of the payments in ESUT. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. It's a real privilege to be on this program because I can see that it is reaching quite a number of our colleagues, and it will help ease the doing of business. So Emmanuel, you asked about multiple internship. Now, this also goes to the last person that asked the question about that different payments in different places. You see, when you make money your object, once you make money your object, you will miss your point. For you to move on in life, internship must be done. And then you will never have enough internship positions, internship placements, because it is not everybody that can pay that kind of money. By the time you finish internship, you start earning half of what you were earning during internship. It becomes, it dampens your spirits. So like me, I always advise people, if you need to do internship and you don't have placement, look for a place and tell them not to pay you. Finish that 1 year and move on with your life. This is my own principle. I'm not telling you you should do it. It is my own principle, and that's the way I advise people. However, we encourage institutions that are doing internship to send the names of internees to us so that we can verify and tell them if those interns have done internship before. But very few send to us, only some. And we find that we see certain people doing internship twice. Now, if you are caught doing internship twice, your license can be seized and you can be withdrawn from that profession. If you remember what scientist Soji Billy Rose was saying, it is a grievous offense to do internship more than once. So we encourage institutions to send list of intending internees to council for verification. Now, Emmanuel's question again about internship being centralized. This is the challenge that we've been having. They should have started centralizing internship as way back as I think 2019. It was agreed that the Federal Ministry of Health will get a list of names of intending internees and posts, whether you are a doctor, you are a medical lab scientist, you are a pharmacist, or whichever of the medical professions that are into internship. But the Ministry of Health said, okay, let us start a pilot program. And the pilot program started with the doctors. Since that time, it has remained with the doctors. So these are issues. If you remember what the national president was saying, these are issues that we always have. We are still undergoing a lot of advocacy to see how this can be rectified, especially among the group of registrars of medical professions. So I'm sure with time it will be sorted out. Then opening of laboratory. A laboratory that is from what I know cannot be opened by an internee. You cannot open a lab because you cannot man a lab yourself. And even after you have finished your internship, you will have to practice for at least 5 years. This is the rule. You must practice for at least 5 years before you open a lab. But because of the situation in Nigeria where there is no work and all these things, council tends to close its eyes to certain things like this. But there's a reason why we said 5 years. Because if you're going to man a lab, the onus will be on you that you will know quite a lot about laboratory work. And you can only know about laboratory work by practice. You practice under somebody that is proficient. That is the way, it is what he knows that he will teach you. But if you practice on your own, it is what you know that you will remain with. So that's the thing about lab opening. However, if you're above 5 years, all you need to do is apply to the council that you want to open the lab, give them where you're opening your lab, and council will send a team to come and inspect your lab and see if you have the necessary things to open a lab. You don't really have to open a mighty lab. We have primary labs, we have secondary labs, we have tertiary labs. So you can pick the one that suits your power. Then finally, there's a question about CPD. Again, I will refer to what scientist Billy Rose said. It is very important that you keep up to date with new developments within your profession. So if you hear that there's a new machine that is doing work, you need to go and look at it, study it, because you might get to a lab that has that machine and then you will be at sea. Again, you will also have to understand the machine so that when you see results coming from the machine, you know what you really need to do with the results. Because some machines have some margin of error. You need to know how you eliminate those errors and make them look normal. But all in all, you must keep up with the developments in your profession. If there's a new method that is out for, let's say, urea estimation, it is important that you know. And the only way you know these things is by engaging in continuous professional development, CPD. That is what keeps you up to date. So for you to get your license, 2 years after you have finished your youth service, you must, council has made it, council in association with the association has made it mandatory that you get 10 credit units. In fact, there's a particular section of CPD that is manned by the association, and that is this e-learning, the one that they do online. For those that are doing CPD online, you can only do up to 4 credits. 4 credits. You cannot do more than 4 credits online. The remaining part of the CPD must be collected from other places. You can do it when different associations are doing their CPD or when council is doing in-person CPD. You can also get your CPDs from your publications. Note, that publication that is going to be used for CPD must be done a year before the CPD that is going to be used for. So, in other words, if you are presenting your publication for CPD credits in 2023, you must have done that publication in 2022. I hope this is understood, and I hope it answered. Thank you very much.
Very well, very well. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We have a lot of questions. But I'm going to give the opportunity to for final words and even another question to our president, the AMSTN National President. Just there's 1 minute to round up. Give us your final words or answer any question. Then Sojibi Rose will give us his own final words. And closing remarks will be coming from Jagere, the National Secretary of YMLSF. Mr. President, sir, you can take the center stage. Okay, so if maybe I think the
Okay.
president. Okay,
Yeah,
go
okay,
ahead, sir.
fine. Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy that I'm here. Let me also tell you that part of the responsibility of AMSIN is that we advocate for institutions to actually follow the format to start recruiting people for internship, recruiting young graduates for internship. And we also go to institutions that internship is already going on, and we advocate for increase in the number of intake, because I keep on telling them that I'm not happy when I see graduates from my institution 1 year at home that they are still looking for placement for internship. It's not, we don't like that. And let me also tell you that I also advocate that in the Presidential Health Sector Reform Committee, I brought up this issue of internship, that the Federal Ministry of Health are not being fair to other health professionals. They are bringing discrimination. Why should they take only graduates of MBBS and put them in central posting and allow other health professionals to be moving from one hospital to the other to look for? So if we don't want, our position has been that if we are going in for central posting, everybody, every profession that is undergoing internship should be placed in central posting. If it is not, according to them, they said even those ones that they place them in the central posting, that they are having problem. Okay, abolish it now, and then let all of us be, all the professionals, let them be moving from one hospital to the other. But you cannot just be taking one group and putting them there, then the other one, the other side. If that central posting is problematic, that you said other cannot be placed into that, then let us abolish it. And that has been our submission to them. But I assure you that we've been doing a lot to ensure that our graduates should not suffer to get placement. Then the other issue of training is a continuous process, and you need to learn now. You cannot just renew your license without getting updated with current trends that is taking place. And that is why, in fact, this decision is federal government of Nigeria, and is not limited to only medical laboratory science, is to all health professionals. You must have a minimum. Our own is even a minimum of 10 CPD credit unit. So it's advantageous to all of us. So we should embrace it, we should support it. When I was talking to you, I said, it is good for you to attend workshops, attend conferences, so that you can learn. It's part of learning process. Learning is a continuum, no matter what you are, the height you attain, even as a professor, does not mean that you have monopoly of knowledge. So learning is a continuous process. So asking people to obtain CPD, that's the global trend for acquiring knowledge on yearly basis, so that you are now current in your own profession. So we advocate for that. And so I want to thank you for this program. As far as I'm concerned, it's very educative, and I am happy that we've interacted with these younger ones. How I wish that from time to time, we'll have this type of platform again. And I wish you all the best. Those that are already passing out from internship program, those that are still on, please put in your best, represent us well, and I think it will be fine. One of the things we are also advocating is that states, there should be no discrimination, because that is even discrimination for state to have a different salary structure. And I'm happy that some states now, they have also started implementing the CONMES and some CONHES. But the problem is that even our people, especially at the states, they are not even serious, because you need to come together and confront government. But they will just leave NMA to go and now start negotiating with government. Government will approve CONMES, and then our own will now come later. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, so it's a responsibility that all of us need to be current, and then we follow issues. For example, what is happening here? I just came back from a meeting, and what we decided to do is that we have an interprofessional group. In fact, without doctors, all the pharmacists are there, nurses are there, medical lab are there. And we are now engaging the three top governorship candidates in my state. We are engaging them so that let them tell us what plan do they have. If you win, can you make a non-medical doctor to be a commissioner of health? And we also have certain agencies, executive secretary, state primary healthcare development agency. They will go and put a doctor there. So why? What of other people? Put us and let's see whether we cannot perform better than doctors.
Yes.
And that is why we are still in National Assembly again, trying to seek for amendment of the act establishing university teaching hospital that made that the CMD must be a medical doctor. We want that thing to be corrected. Anybody can be appointed to become the chief executive officer of a hospital. It must not be a doctor. You are not going to take a patient to a theater that you say it has to be a doctor. It's administration, and everybody can do administration.
Yes.
You know, so those are the things. What, you know, so thank you, and I wish
thank you very
all
much. Thank you very much, Prof. We are so excited that we had you tonight, and be rest assured that this will be a continuous process, and this process of integration will continue so that we'll have a very robust and vibrant young professionals. Thank you, sir. So the last person, Mr. Soji Rose, your last words and words of encouragement as we close.
Okay, so just want to join my national president to say this kind of platform should continue, and to thank the YMLSF leadership for the opportunity to share a few thoughts with everyone. I just want to highlight again and again that ethics is very important because it impacts on our corporate image as a profession. It impacts on our general outlook, how we are being perceived. Let's practice ethically, okay? We must eliminate deliberately all forms of malfeasance in our practice, all forms. Let's practice with integrity. Let's work ethically. Let's dress well. Let's look good. Let's speak well. Let's conduct ourselves in a manner that is reputable, and will have the society, respect us. We can't continue to do the same thing the old way and expect different outcome. So I want to challenge the young ones that we have a huge and a beautiful profession ahead of us, but it is left to us to make it or to mar it. So, but I want to encourage every one of us. Let's build MLS. Support the cause of AMSIN. You are the foot soldiers, wherever you are, at your chapter, at your branch, at the national level. And thankfully, we have been engaging and mentoring so many of you. Even in NOC, some young ones are now put as members of national organizing committees. Most of the media committees that AMSIN has, for most of our NEC meetings, there is none of them that will not involve either the state secretary, PRO of YMLS, or the state AMSIN chairman, YMLS chairman, so to say. So this is part of mentorship. We need you to come, see how things are done, so that we can develop institutional memory. Institutional memory. There's a way things are done in a profession, okay, and in an association. It's only when you come that you can learn, and to be easy to transmit this knowledge, and of course, subsequently the baton to us. So please, I want to encourage us. Let's be very professional in everything that we do, and then this, at the end of the day, will improve our professional outlook and perception by the public. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to be like you when I grow up, because your eloquence and your consistency in achieving excellence are unparalleled. Thank you very much, sir. We continue to look forward to greater heights and looking up to you as a mentor. I wanted to call Jagede here. Thank you, sir. Jagede, to give us final remark. But I think, Mr. Gregory, you didn't say goodbye to us. I think you should say goodbye, maybe your final words, just in a few seconds, so that Jagede will do a closing remark and closing prayer together.
Once again, thank you very much. My advice to scientists, young and old, is that the way to success is not only through the bench. There are other things you can do. You can enter into politics. You can begin by manufacturing certain things. I'll give you an example. EQA. Our EQA, we started it with Randox. We moved to one word accuracy. And the cost of doing EQA was terrible, was so exorbitant. But today, most of our EQA samples, most, including hematology samples, are made in Nigeria by scientists like you. These people are churning in money. So there are so many things you can do as a scientist. Again, always think of when you are going to retire. You need something handy to do, not just the bench. You can become an international assessor. All you have to do is bring out some money and spend on yourself. Train yourself. Get more knowledge. No knowledge is wasted. One day it will be of use to you. Do not limit yourself by saying you're always waiting for your office to pay for you or for this to pay for you. It won't help you. Spend money on yourself and you will finally be grateful for that. I wish you all best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. At this point, I must say that we have really achieved our aim for tonight. Hopefully, all these persons, if you need to engage any of them, you can always reach out to YMLSF. We will always grant you access to some of them or to all of them. So once we cannot resolve it, definitely they're always there and they're very, very responsive. So they're always there to answer you. Thank you very much. At this junction, I want to call on the National Secretary, MLS Jagede Suleiman, to give us a closing remark on behalf of the National President of YMLSF and give us a closing prayer too.
All right, thank you very much, my very own brother, MLS Obichi Buize. First of all, I would like to tell us that I'm so happy that this program has actually come to be. And on behalf of the National Leadership of the Young Med-Lab Scientists Forum, I want to first of all appreciate our ever-present AMSI National President. In fact, I wanted to say this, that I think this current leadership of AMSI is the most youth-friendly AMSI leadership we've ever had. So we want to sincerely thank you, sir, for always coming through anytime we call on you. And we sincerely pray that God will continue to give you the might to lead the profession of MLS to the enviable heights that you have always promised. Thank you very much, sir, and may God bless you. And I want to assure you that YMLSF will always be there and ready to work with you to see that we achieve our various goals as a profession. Secondly, my one and only Jagaba, my Oga Greg, one of the most youthful-friendly person we have in council too. I always love how eloquent you are when you are presenting issues and answering questions assertively. So on behalf of the leadership of YMLSF, we say thank you very much for availing yourself for this program. And please, we also sincerely plead that you should always be there anytime we call on you. Also, our own capacity national publicity secretary, AMSI, the CEO I know, MLS Olusoji Billy Rose, ever present anytime we call on you. We say thank you and we appreciate you for being there. Also, our YMLSF members, the interns that have made themselves available. I'm sure by now we must have learned a lot and questions has been answered by our various stakeholders. I want to appreciate you too. Just like our elders have spoken, wherever you are, you just have to be the ambassador of the profession and always ask questions whenever you need clarification. Don't just go to social media and start making unnecessary noise. Always call on us anytime you need clarification. Whichever one that is beyond us, we are always ready to connect you with the leadership of AMSIN and MLSCN as the case may be. However, I also want to let us know that YMLSF is always ready to do more, even when we know we have been doing this for the past 6 years without consecutive payment of the annual dues by our members. You see, no association or forum will succeed successfully without the payment of dues. So on this note, I would like to call on our YMLSF members, the interns, both the ones that are present here and the ones that are not here. Let this message fly to every one of us that the YMLSF annual due is something that can always encourage us to do more, to be an anti-medium between the younger generations and our elders, the AMSIN and MLSCN as a whole. So I want to appreciate you and crave your indulgence that the annual due is just 2,000 naira per year. If you divide that money by 12, check it, it's less than 180 naira per month. So you can just imagine it's something that you can just pay and it won't do any harm to you. So thank you very much on behalf of the leadership of the YMLSF. We sincerely appreciate us for being in this program. Now, saying the closing prayer, I will not take much of our time. Alhamdulillah for having this program successfully, and I wish us all the best as we go to our various destinations. And I wish us a successful night rest in the mighty name of God, I pray. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone, and may God bless YMLS and God bless MLS.
Yeah, good night, everyone, and over.
Thank you, sir.
Over
Thank
now.
you.
Good night,
sir.
everyone. Thank you for this opportunity.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Oga Greg. Thank you, the capacity NPS. Thank you, everyone, for availing yourself. We are really glad, and it has been a very robust, engaging, and beneficial meeting. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Koda and team. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much, sir. Youth-friendly president.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Everybody.
Yeah.